Note. This is the we'll take that fade off of it. See if that works better. Yeah. So let's move that. So this value, sorry for flying around. This value is like the note. It's not really a frequency. You could, if you can read that, it says 0 is middle C, positive notes are higher and negative notes are lower. So if you go, so we moved, that's middle C there, C4. We moved it up an octave and it now says 1 for that one. And let's try moving that up again. C6, and that says 2. And this says 0.167 because it's on this D4, 2 semitones up and stuff. If we put it 1 down, it's half of that number because it's only 1 semitone. Let's try it. You can see the difference just pausing it. Yeah, so 0.0831625, and it keeps on going until you get to C5 again. So it's probably, unless you like actually experiment with this and get the numbers right, it's probably, if you're using logic for these things, it's probably a better idea to like make sure you play through it and make sure the numbers that you're referencing are correct, rather than kind of guessing at the values. You can probably, if you take a bit of time to figure out exactly how it works, you can probably do that. So that's what that gives. So let's see. Let's make this like jump higher, maybe. Yeah. So first we need to group it. So simplest way of doing that without messing stuff up, by adding a microchip. And then just group those two things. And now, so what's happening now is, within the group, that fleck is being affected by the keyframe, but the group itself isn't moving at all, but it means we can move the group separately. So let's record the group being a load higher, and then hooking that up to there. So that's at C. But again, you have to remember, if nothing is playing, then it will be 0, I believe. So if we play it, so it goes to there, but then when it that's because the other one is wired up. So let's remove that for a second. So at the end of that note, it will default back to 0. Cool. So you'll have to, like, if you want it to stay at that note, maybe at that higher note, you might have to freeze the signal, and there are a few ways of doing that. I've shown a tutorial about that. You can find that on YouTube. Shameless plug. Okay, I'll use Y first. In position X and Y. So in the performance window, you can like drag around the notes like this. and it records stuff, records like the position of those notes. So if I output the actual value first and just grab the Y and just select it, then I can just show you. So if I'm playing and I'm way up the top, then it's getting higher, and then when it goes down it goes lower, and it's got it's harder to see. Let's delete that. Okay. It's got these lines, dotted lines across the center, so that's at 0, and then it gets lower and higher. Same for X. So I hook that one up. Now on X, you can see it's getting lower, moving to the left, and higher, moving to the right. And you can use that for anything you like. You could record like an eye movement, and it's like shifty looking over there and stuff, and then use these outputs to control how an eye looks, for example. For here, we will just let it plug into there. One thing, yeah, so if we just play it, or if I actually just, yeah, so you can see it's, as Y is increasing, it's applying that keyframe more and moving the fleck up like that. But when we go down, it doesn't do anything. It's because it outputs a negative number when you're going down, and you can't power a keyframe with a negative number. So if you want to use that, let's see how high that goes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 probably. So if we move that down to, let's do 5, and then we'll move that up there, I think. Yeah, and then we can turn the grid off and use a signal manipulator to map it from, instead of being -1 to +1, it will be 0 to 1. So go in here, go to -1 to +1, and now it's 0 to 1, and power that using that. So around the middle it's 0, and then it goes up or down depending on where the performance was. Stuff like that. And you can do the same with X, obviously.